molecules of air, which slowed us down and slowed us down, and we dropped further and further, and then we into the atmosphere. And so I remember, we kind of fishtailed backwards, and I could see the moon go by. That was really cool. And then right before we hit the atmosphere, explosive bolts fire and separate the three pieces of our spacecraft. And so the centerpiece is the only part that survives re-entry, and luckily that's the one that we're in. Now they planned it that way. And so I had a window right here. I'm in the right seat, and so you look out the window and it's black, and then it starts to turn pink as we start getting into really hot plasma. And then, if you ever seen those fireworks and like fountains of sparks, you ever see that? That's what it was like on each window. There was these fountains of sparks going by, and then that turned into flames. And then pieces were going by, and flaming pieces. And then the window burnt over black, and you couldn't see out anymore because it just burnt. And so the next big event was the drogue chute opening that's going to pull the main parachute out. And so when that opened, it was like the three of us were on the end of a towel that was being shaken in every different direction for about 20 seconds. And I remember Andrei Boroshenko, who was over in the left seat, yells out in Russian, "It's just like an American amusement park ride." but it was much worse than any ride that I've been. So then it settles down, and now the G's start building up as you get into the atmosphere. And then the main chute opens up, and that starts all over again. All these wild gyrations in every different direction. And then when the parachute fully opens, it settles down again. But in there, we were spinning too. I forgot that part. And then at some point, I forget exactly where it happens, the layer on the outside of the window gets peeled away, and so now we can see out again. And so that was pretty cool. But we were, before the parachute opened and before the window burnt solid, opaque, we were in a really steep descent. We fired our engines about the south tip of South America. We were coming up on an inclination up towards Africa, and I just remember watching Africa just whiz by. But we were very steep, too. And then we were on the steppes of Kazakhstan. We could see the ground starting to come up. I had mirrors on my sleeve, my wrist here that I could see out. I could see out a little bit if I scrunch forward. But before landing, you go from laying on your back with about the instrument panel right here to instantly the instrument panel being right here. Because what happens is the seats cock up. So they're like on a shock absorber. And then 0.6 of a second before we hit the ground, they call them soft landing rockets fire. And so we heard that, shh, and then bam. So Scott Kelly describes it as going over Niagara Falls in a barrel that's on fire, followed by a head-on collision, I guess. But it's actually a rear-end collision, I guess. But, I have a theory on soft rocket engines. I actually think they're smoke screens to hide how hard we actually hit. That was a big surprise. I guess people asked me if I had any surprises. That was one. All that other stuff that I described, I expected all that, and I expected the landing to be hard, but I didn't expect it to be as hard as it was. And so we hit, and I went, "Wow, that was really hard. I'm glad that's over." Little did I know that we had bounced, and so we had like 3 or 4 more landings to go, and it was like a slow-speed crash where if you ever see those the high-speed cameras inside the cars, and you see all the stuff flying here and flying there. And so the other thing that people said, when you hit the ground, you're going to feel like you're tumbling, right? And then I remember thinking, no, I'm pretty sure we are tumbling because all the stuff wouldn't be flying in every different direction. So, but then you settle down, and we were actually on our side. I was on the bottom, so looking out my window, I just saw rocks and grass, which was cool. I hadn't seen rocks and grass in a while. So, and then it was about 45 minutes before we were extracted from the capsule. But it was quite a ride. It was fun, actually. It's fun when you live through it.